Howdy, Oliver the Shoe Man, and we are doing another Welting Wednesday. Crazy thing is, like, ever since I started doing these, I'm like, by the time I get to the next one, I'm like, dang, is it already time to do another one? Like, Wednesday comes along fast. Here we have a pair of boots. These were fairly new when they came in. These were Justin boots, square toe. These had the double stitch on them. Fortunately, I didn't have any pictures how they were, what they looked like when they came in, but the dog had chewed up the welt and the sole and the very tips of the boots. Thank God it was just the welt and not the actual uppers of the boots. So we could replace the welt and the soles, no problem. But so we're gonna be sewing a flat welt on. This is the color of the heel rand, which is that piece that goes around the back, because the cowboy boots are 270 degrees. So I did my best to match that color as best as possible. It looks pretty good to me. But yeah, probably gonna be a short video today. Just gonna do the one boot. Got a lot of work I gotta try to catch up on. It's been snowing here in Smyrna, Tennessee, which is near Nashville. So I haven't had a lot of customers come in, but it's given me an opportunity to hopefully catch up. But yeah, so I just got a lot of big projects that kind of all came together, all came in at the same time. And those projects take a while. So that kind of puts me a little bit behind on the smaller projects, smaller repairs. But I'm only one person, so I can only do a couple things at a time. But if you guys have anything with me, thank you for your patience. I'm doing the best I can. I just want to make sure that everything's done properly and to my satisfaction and to your guys' satisfaction. So I don't know if you guys have seen or even noticed behind me, I've kind of moved things around in the shop, which I'll be posting a video hopefully here soon, Thursday or Friday, of a pair of Ferragamos that we're working on. These were pretty bad before, but I did a little mini shop tour at the beginning of that video. So if you want to go kind of see how things turned around and changed, or kind of the workspace, my work area on my machines, I did a little mini workshop tour. I took you guys around the front, retail area, and then in my shoe repair side. The sewing area is still kind of a mess, because when I move things around here, I just moved everything over into that other side of the building. So that's still getting organized. But I gotta juggle organizing, repairs, customers, emails. So I'm making it happen. Thank God. Praise God. Oh, and then also, my church is doing a 40-day fast. They have a little guideline of what you can do, or you could choose something yourself. I have chosen to stop caffeine for 40 days. I feel like I relied on it. So I'm very tired. It's gonna be a rough couple of weeks, but after that it should be fine. And I'll go back to it. I'll drink a little bit here and there, but not as much as I was doing every single day, to where I couldn't get up. I couldn't get my day started properly, and I wasn't as effective at my work as without it, if that makes sense. So no more coffees, no more teas for 40 days. So yeah, It's a struggle, but I'm making it through with God's help. But I'll try to go. Let's talk about, let's see, these boots. Justin boots, they make a pretty good boot. Depends on the line. I've seen some pretty rough ones, like as far as quality. And I've seen some pretty nice ones. I think this one's up there on the high end version of the boots. It also depends on, a good way to figure it out is if you're getting a good one is obviously with the price that you pay. And usually try to stick to made in America lines and boots. Let's see where these ones are made. Made in USA. Yep. So, and it's kind of the same thing with Ariats too. I've seen some pretty nice, like, well-constructed Ariats, and then you obviously see the crappy soled ones that they're just meant to throw away after you finish wearing them out. But it depends on where they're made and how much you pay for them. You know, some brands, they just charge for the name. You're just getting a crappy boot, but you're just paying for the name. So just do your research. Alrighty. I got quite a workload over there, you see. Let's see if I can zoom in for you. Oh no, it's not zooming in, but got about 10 to 15 pairs of boots over there, about ready to get sanded and finished and put some heels on. So this is gonna be my last pair for the night. Hopefully I get these wrapped up tonight. The most difficult part is doing a double stitch. 2 rows of stitching on the piece of leather. It's a wide leather, so I'll be able to make it work. But just, it's light color welt, light color stitches, so there's no hiding any imperfections. And you're stitching them upside down with the sewing machine. So it's kind of a set your guides, set your depths, and pray and hope for the best. But obviously the more you stitch, the better you get. And I've gotten pretty good at them, but these, like I said, these light color welts, the light color stitching, it's hard to mess up. It's hard to hide things if you mess up. Now this thread is brown, so this isn't what I'm talking about. It's once we put the soles on top and then get stitched. So the welts, they get stitched to the boot, and then the sole comes on and gets stitched to the welt. So everything's kind of stitched together and held securely. This brown stitch you won't see. Like, I'll show you. It's a small size. So the last doesn't like to come out as easily. So this is what you're gonna see at the top. You see, you don't see any of that brown thread. And if we have any new watchers, what we're doing is, you see those holes right there, and you see this groove. So we're just lining up that hole, sticking our needle into the groove through that hole into the inside of the shoe. Let's see. You see? Then we take our inside thread, loop it onto the needle, pull it through, and now you have a loop here. You pull your outside thread through that loop, and then you pull the inside loop tight, and it makes almost like a chain. Kind of holds like that. And you just do that all the way around the boot until you get through. That's just a time-consuming process. So that's why we have to charge a little bit extra to do this. Just because it takes a lot more time. Usually we just You just take the threads out that we're holding the soles on to the welt, and then put the new sole on and restitch it with the machine, so we don't have to charge as much for that. But this is, like I said, just time consuming. Time consuming. And then when you have like 5 or 10 pair lined up, oh, yeah, it does kind of does a number on your fingers and your arms, your extremities. I think that's what they're called. I'm just trying to pull the old threads out right now, because when whoever took this apart, I have some family that comes and help me take boots apart so I could put them back together. Kind of saves me some time. Sometimes I forget a thread or two, which is fine. I'd rather than do that than not help at all. Okay. Now these square toes are kind of hard at the corners to get right. But sometimes you could wet the leather. I've done that in my last video. But don't have time for that right now, so I'm just gonna make sure it sits nice and flat and turns that corner. And the welt has a there's another thread. Sometimes it's hard. You're not able to get to that thread until you put that needle in there, and that needle kind of pushes it out. But like I was saying, this welt has a tapered back end. So this section right here is what hugs the uppers. So it kind of is able to sit and flare out and not kind of lay flat up against the boot. So you have to make sure that that the needle comes out on that kind of slanted side, so that the welt will be able to lay flat. And then usually it kind of lays flat once you have the soles on. It'll kind of hug itself down or fold up when you're sewing it on. But you just take it slow. Make sure your needle's coming out where it needs to come out, and you're following all the holes. You see right there? It's kind of hugging the uppers of the boot, because that corner but once we get the soles on, it'll work. It'll lay down and lay flat. And sometimes just kind of leaving it up or bending it up like that helps to relieve that pressure. I think I found another. Is that another thread? Aha! It's always at the toe that's hard to get out. You want to make sure you follow all the original holes so you don't change up the size or the feel of the boot on the inside. Sometimes that can happen. And then also you put more holes in the uppers, then you kind of what we call cheese grate it, and then there's nothing for the welt to hold on to, and then from there's nothing for the soles to hold on to. So then you get soles coming off, which is no fun. You don't want the soles falling off of your boots. Alrighty. Here we go. Here we go. Come around this last corner. It's a shame that these boots are brand new, basically. Hardly any wear on them. The dog got to them. It's no fun. No fun at all. But, like I said, we're lucky you didn't get the uppers, the toes of the boots, because then that would have been a whole different repair. A lot more work would have had to gone into that, because then you're dealing with the uppers of the boots, which either have to be replaced or just covered with a patch. Patches don't always look the best, so depending on where they are on the toes, we could do a toe cap, which is a whole piece that covers this. Some boots come with them already, and that's the best way that we have found to fix it, while also keeping it aesthetically pleasing. So it is possible, but we just have to take the footbeds out and make a last, which is a wooden shape, like a wooden form, to shape and mold the leather over, so that it's able to have these corners right here. I'm trying to get you guys to have the best angle. Every time I turn that corner, or turn the corner, it kind of changes views. But coming here near the end, what we'll do is when we get to this end, we'll skive it, which is thinning it down. And you can see with this heel rand, get some of this threads off, it's kind of skived down as well, so that when it goes on top and this meets this, there's not that big old bump there, you see. So we skive the leather down, so that way it'll kind of have a flawless transition. That's the goal, at least. It's not coffee, it's chocolate milk. That's just a nice little substitute. I don't think it was a caffeine that was the issue. Well, obviously, I would get tired and I wouldn't be able to start, or I wouldn't say I wouldn't be able to. I would feel drowsy and lazy and not as effective and energized as I would when I drank coffee, like I've been almost all day today, but been able to make it work. But I've also had like the urge to drink something, so I've had like 3 cups of chocolate milk and like 2 water bottles, so I'm just drinking a lot of liquids. So maybe that's what, I don't know, I don't know, but no, well, I'll get through it. Not a big deal. Alright, trying to think. So yeah, we got that cool video coming up with the Ferragamos. Those look pretty bad, honestly. Like when they came in, they're over 20 years old. So they were in pretty rough shape. They've been resoled before. I mean, not the best way to resole them, but I mean, it worked, but still not the correct, proper way. They just glued soles on. They didn't they didn't stitch them in, or so. We're gonna do them the proper way, stitching the soles to the shoe. But like I said, it didn't give it didn't give them any problems. Like, but it was a pain in the butt to get those soles off. Let me tell you, because they used so much glue. But something other than that, something else is pretty cool. So this is the first one that I started on. We did, and these are the soles. We did JR soles, and then that is our logo with our laser engraver that my wife runs and does for us. We were able to laser engrave our logo in the waist of the shoe there, which is pretty cool. And then I got these weird shaped heels. Like, let me grab them for you. So this is what was on there, which is why you have that shaped like that. This was plastic, and I wasn't about to reuse that, so did some leather heel blocks. I'm still gonna clean up that inside and get that glued on there. That should look pretty nice when it gets done. It's gonna be a lot of work, a lot of time to make it look like it's supposed to be. Well, we're coming here to the end. Like I said, I don't have much time to do the other shoe, unfortunately. So I have to cut it here at the end. But I appreciate you guys watching all my videos. The Welting Wednesday videos, oddly enough, have done a lot better than I thought they would. But feel free to comment on any ideas you might have. If you would consider watching this live, I think that might be cool to do every once in a while. If you have any questions about repairs, I do take mail-in repairs, because shoe cobblers are hard to find these days. So if you want to ship them into my shop, you can go ahead and email me. I'll have all that information in the description below. Here at the end of the end hole. And then we're gonna go back one. And then we're gonna pull this outside thread to the inside. Kind of pull it out. And then we're gonna tie this to the inside. A couple knots. 2 and 3. That ain't going nowhere. And then I'm gonna skive this back end here, back into the welt. Gotta be careful not to cut the uppers with that, because it's a sharp knife. I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm just gonna. There we go. Let's see here. Get this hammered down. I'll show you guys the uppers. Alright. So we get this off. You can see it's near the edges or the sides of the boot, it's nice and flat. But here at the toe, that's where it's kind of, well, you can kind of see where the dog chewed up, but this is how it'll look like when the sole comes down and get flattened out and it gets stitched on. So thank you guys again for joining me on this Welting Wednesday video. Stay tuned for that Ferragamo video. Hopefully it'll be coming out later this week. And yeah, y'all have a good week. God bless you.